Let it run for a little bit. Get it going. Get it schmoving. I'm feeling nice, feeling good. Um, Team's looking good. Is there anything I was wanting to do? I don't really think so. Obviously, Elliot, is it Elliot Ramos? I guess I gotta look it up. I like knowing my players' names. Elliot Ramos. I could be much like overcomplicating how you actually say it. It is just Elliot Ramos. Okay, that's what I thought. But there's an H there, so I get confused sometimes. Also, the alert stuff should be working. I'm gonna close that to get this open, and then we should kind of be chilling more so than we were chilling, I think. I shouldn't have to open my browser today. All right. Everything should be awesome. So cool. This over here. So a very jank setup. Kind of just going. I think I said that I would like not do this and actually like I actually don't need this. Actually like be ready. And that didn't happen. I just kind of said, "Oh, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. You ain't gonna stop me." And he didn't stop me, so I'm here. I am here. Has Arias literally just been terrible for me specifically? Because I know he's been like actually okay, like good in real life. He's been a solid fielder at second base. Um, which has not been the last couple of years before this one. That being said, I don't really understand why the Giants signed him still. Maybe I guess they were supposed to be not as bad as they are. That's probably the biggest thing. It's kind of weird. I like Buster Posey, but it's not particularly done like. Also, Rafael Devers has been terrible for us. Okay, so I wanted to decide: are we making a playoff push? So I know we saw this Gausman trade. Um, they're gonna move Kevin Gausman, and I think it could like, sure, if the price is low enough and we want to make a push, I don't think it's a bad move. Definitely. Probably send McDonald to the pen. Robbie Ray really has not been that good for us. I think it's going to be kind of like an even, like, okay, we're making a push for the playoffs, but also, Wisenhunt has been, like, honestly good enough. I really don't mind him being like a fifth starter. Kind of the same deal with McDonald. Like, as a fifth starter, it's fine. More than that, not really worth keeping on the team. But in terms of like who are we looking to move at this trade deadline? Because I think it makes sense to both move pieces because we have too many pieces in the outfield specifically. There's not really a place for Casey Schmidt to play right now. Um, could look to move Arias, just because kind of a logjam at second base, and that would play Casey Schmidt at second base. Can also play Schmidt at third base potentially. Probably not going to be looking to play him at first because Devers is your first baseman. I think it's pretty clear he's going to be your first baseman of the future, unless we really think it's just best to trade Rafael. But I'd like to keep him honestly. Like I don't really want to plan on trading him, at least in year one here. I feel like it makes a lot of sense to keep him on the team currently. Um, so really we're looking at some players. We're looking at some players that I'll probably trade some of them. Also, Eric Haas should be our starter. Like, probably. He should probably be our starter. It's kind of just been better at catcher. So I'm probably going to give him the majority of at-bats. There we go. They're really not playing Susik at all. Oh, it's because they changed my lineups completely. Didn't really want that. Um, I'll have to fix those. Clicked on the wrong button. And actually just close out the game real quick. That's going to be more work, isn't it? Okay. So I actually want me to play Casey Schmidt at second. And this can be your entire lineup. What was I doing rather than this? I feel like this. Oh, I was starting Jesus. Um, which yeah, that's probably a bad idea. This is fine. Versus lefties, at least I don't mind that at all. Versus righties, I feel like this makes sense. You definitely want Eldridge in the lineup versus righties, and it doesn't really matter if he's in the lineup versus lefties. So I would say that is chill to me. It's cool. A lot of righties. I like Bryce Eldridge being on the team. Probably again not looking to move Matt Chapman. Though that contract is a little bad. I just like he's still a solid player. Don't really have a like a true third baseman that can replace him. I think if we were to move anybody right now, it would be in the infield. It would be Arias. Um, so I'm actually just gonna like write this down for myself, like having it on paper. Lets me organize my considerations a little bit. I have paper in front of me. I use paper as a mouse pad. Most of the time. So that or a notebook. I don't have an actual mouse pad. So potential. Oh, this pen isn't working. There we go. Potential. I can't see this. Trade options. Arise. Actually, I don't know how to pronounce his name either. That feels bad. Is it just Arias or is it Arise? I feel like I've always heard Arise. Maybe I'm just like mentally tricking myself. Luis Arise. It is just Arise. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was right. I need to just trust my guts. Um, Looking into everybody else, I mean, I'd like to keep Eric Haas on the team. You're not going to get a ton out of him. The other player that I think you'd consider trading is, just one of your outfielders. I don't think that would be Jung Hoo Lee. I think it makes sense to hold on to him. Feels like, you're not going to get a ton of value out of him. Compared to like what you'd want to get, I guess. Preston Bader's fine. Don't really have a Drew Gilbert's not bad. That kind of make you maybe want to trade Harrison Bader. Um, Potentially. I'll put him on the list. I'm not saying we have to trade him or anything, but Drew Gilbert's a solid player for us. How'd the Giants get Drew Gilbert? Feels weird that the Astros let him go to me. Feels like no, I'm thinking of the wrong player. He was the Mets prospect. Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to consider. Obviously, the potential isn't crazy with Drew Gilbert. He's kind of just the player that he is. He's traded for JV back in the day. It's not even back in the day. It's like only 3 years ago, but I know he's a top prospect for a little while, like around the 50 plus range. Um, we definitely have to clear up this outfield a little bit. I think it makes sense to do that via trade. Whether that's Ramos, whether that's Bader, I think those are the two that I'd probably consider. And that would just help get at bats a little bit for everybody else. So I think those are the three hitting, options that we'd consider trading is Arise, it's Bader, and Arise is a expiring deal. So he's gone after the season. Like I think that's why it makes sense to trade him. It's not because he's like playing bad or anything, but like I'm not like there's a 0% chance I'm going to consider extending him. This is going to be a youth movement here. We're just not good enough to warrant keeping him next year, probably. I don't mind making a playoff push this year. I don't think it's really important that he's part of it, to be completely honest with you. Bader, he's fine. 2 years left on his contract. Serviceable center fielder, but not much more. And honestly, like I'd rather just start Drew Gilbert. He's also a lefty. Probably just prefer that better defensively. I think it's actually worse defensively, but that's the range. Bader's range is obviously it is 70. Gilbert's not as good. Like Bader's definitely the better player, but it's so marginal that I'm not too worried about keeping him. Like if it clears up the outfield stuff and it's the best option, I'm not against it. And then last, Jesus Rodriguez is kind of bad. I don't know why I called this guy up. I guess he can play catcher. He's not a very good hitter. He's fine. We just don't have much depth that's worth bringing up. Like, if you look at AAA, like, is there anybody that's actually like Buddy Kennedy is probably a better hitter? He has 40 power. I don't know. It's all marginal. And he doesn't play catcher, so I don't know. Yeah, I remember to chill a little bit. And then Ramos, obviously. He's on a little bit of a longer deal, I think. This might be the opportune time. Oh no, he's on ARB. So he's still pretty cheap. I wouldn't mind keeping him, but again, if it's like he doesn't play center field, not a good corner outfielder, he's a leader. Um, I wouldn't mind keeping him, but I think like I wouldn't mind if it makes the most sense to trade him, clear up the log jam. I wouldn't mind trading him either. He's an ARB. Looking at the pitchers that I think are going to be, potentially on the move. Really, I don't think it makes sense to trade any of the relief staff. Like they're all on pretty affordable deals. Keaton Wins still on that rookie contract. Hentges is the one that like ARB eligible. He's going to be making money, but it really doesn't make sense to trade him. I don't think. Like I don't think you're going to get that much, and I like lefties. So I don't think any of these guys are really gonna. How is Ryan Baruki still on the team? He's just like fine, and he's a lefty. And Gage just pitched pretty well. I don't think we're going to be looking to move any of those guys. Really not anyone that it feels like important to bring up from AAA. Trent Harris is like, okay. Honestly, not much talent here. Look at the highest overall, it's 44, and that's Jackson Flora already in AAA. Not sure I will vibe with that, to be honest. I might do a quick, I'll note that too. Do the minor league shuffle. I'll probably put him in AA just to start off. Get him a little warm. I think he's more than capable of pitching in AA. Don't want to throw him right into the fire in AAA though. And the only hitter in AAA that I've really been looking at is Nate Furman. Really don't have an opening for him. If we trade, when Arise leaves, Furman is basically a direct replacement. Definitely a worse player right now though than Arise. If he completely develops, like he's also worse. But like one of those like maybe he can be good enough to fill in there as that next guy up. So just remember that he's part of the equation, I suppose. And so really the only pitching option that I would really consider, I mean, I would very much consider trading Robbie Ray. Just hasn't pitched very well, expiring contract. Feels like it'd be better for him to get a change of scenery than have to just continue like pitching here. And he's a fill-in spot starter, but we want youth, and he's not going to be back. So don't mind trading Robbie Ray. Would mean that we probably have to bring in a starter. Like if we were to bring in Gausman, then I would be like, okay, we trade Robbie Ray to make room for him, sort of deal. Because yeah, looking in AAA, and Trent Harris can start. Not sure how interested you'd be in him starting. So really your best like option is Joe Whitman at this point, who just isn't good. So you don't really have options. Kind of in trouble if you need another pitching option from outside of the MLB. Next guy up would almost certainly be Trent Harris. And I'm not against that. But I'm pretty happy with. Actually, we have 4 lefties. Might be worth sending down Baruki and bringing him up because Baruki's not very good, and we're trying to make the playoffs. So let's do that. Let's bring up the best team that we can. Obviously, we're not making like a hard playoff push, but I don't mind making a soft playoff push. Frustrating a little bit because it means worst draft pick next year, but not too hung up about that. So let's look at some potential. I think the first thing I want to do is I don't mind this Gausman trade. Let's look at the other starting pitchers on the market, though. And realistically, this just isn't a whole ton to give up. It's like a developmental starting pitcher. That's, I mean, 25. He's not good. He's bad. We're really just taking on Gausman's contract for the rest of the year. This is a pretty free deal for us. Oh, he just got traded. Well, we can't do that. Gausman got traded before I could look at the deal. That would have been a pretty good deal. So, um, yeah, and he got traded for nothing. Let's look at the general trade block. Let's look at the block, see if there's anybody interesting here in terms of pitchers. I mean, Tarek, obviously. We're not going to make a push for Tarek. I think it's very, very unlikely. Somebody's got to make a push for him. Tigers are trying to build a dynasty. Are they good? No, they're not gonna make the playoffs. So they better trade him. We don't have the juice to even make a trade for him. Probably. I think if we sent our entire AAA system that is are available for trade, it might not get the deal done. Um, Looking at the other side of the trading block, that is not the best pitcher in baseball, maybe. Again, probably not interested in bringing in Zach Wheeler. Kind of expensive, older player. Obviously not bad. Yeah, he's not gonna come here anyways. Does Tarek have no trade? He doesn't have no trade. Yeah, because he's still on ARB or a trade no trade list, trading block, whatever it's called. I feel like it's Bautista coming back from injury. Definitely concerned about how he's going to return. He is ARB eligible. You consider if it was free, but it's definitely not free. Definitely not a free trade there. Um, Actually quite a bit of talent here. A surprising amount of talent for what you would expect. I really don't know if we need any relief pitching. Like we got a good core relief staff, I would say, that I'm pretty comfortable with. Not that it's like particularly good, but we're not trying to win the World Series, so I'm not super concerned about it. Not super concerned about it. Um, so it's really just looking for, more long-term options or a very cheap pitcher that can come in and kind of help us make a push here. Joe Ryan's going to decline that, so really not worth bringing him in. Bubic is a free agent afterwards. He is compensation eligible, which is like, it's something, but I really don't think it's going to be worth trading for him. Yeah, it's too expensive. Too expensive. Um, I get here. Not trading block. We can get some other options. I mean, Casey, another guy that's going to be a free agent, is again compensation eligible if we think we really want to extend him. Dealt with some injuries this year. Good player though, just too expensive. Again, not really, doesn't really make sense for us. Um, Freddie Peralta's on a deal. Like, okay, he's also compensation eligible, too expensive. Same kind of deal. Surprised that there's actually like a high. Can we trade for Clay Holmes? Not currently. Um, Pastor Griffin's fine. Really doesn't make a whole ton of sense for us. Not super interested in adding him. Could just trade him straight up for Bader. That's a little bit interesting to me. Um, I do want to look at everything else that Bader could potentially get us, but not super against that, oddly. Considering we might want to move on from Bader anyways. I do want to see the potential other trades if it's more worth, going to getting a another kind of player, younger player. His name is not Foster Griffin. Interesting. He's had quite a good year. Was he in like where was he the last 4 years or whatever? Was he in Japan? That would make sense to me. Um, yeah. I think that's basically it. In players that make sense for us to go out and trade for now. Swinging down the list a little bit. Sorry, Trevor Rogers is only a 50 overall. Is he been kind of bad this year in real life? I know he started off the year pretty well. JV obviously not really interested. Like why? So yeah, I think the one guy I have genuine interest in bringing in is Foster Griffin, almost primarily because you can just trade Harrison Bader for him straight up, get a pitcher for the next couple of years in Foster Griffin that you trust quite a bit. Now, average scouting isn't super pretty, but let's look at the splits. Like how's he been recently? Still pretty solid. Be okay with that. Just like a little bit of stability is what you're trading for there. In terms of the hitters, I can't really imagine we'd be in the market for anybody, considering we're not really trying to make a playoff push. Yeah. Yeah. Ryan Jeffers is a good player. He is a free agent though, so doesn't make a whole lot of sense when we can just, you know, get him in free agency and he's not a crazy catcher or anything. Hap's obviously good, aging now. I'd assume also a free agent. Yeah. So I think we're pretty comfortable where we are there. Let's see what we could potentially get for all our options here. Take a look at Bader first. Just see if it's worth trading him for Foster Griffin, or maybe it's better to swap him for maybe other talent, or maybe even keep him. I think that's unlikely at this point. Foster Griffin. I'm just writing that down. I'll see what we can get. Should probably turn off veterans too. Honestly, not a whole lot. It's not a super talent-filled pool of players here. Pretty much just older talent that I'm seeing. I will after this remove veterans because it's not really what we're looking for. Foster Griffin really the one guy, he's got contract room left, so I don't mind. Like he's got a year of ARB after this, 9 mil. Like maybe that's a little expensive for him, but provides stability and I don't really mind doing that. And he's only 30. Like really don't expect him to regress where a lot of these other pitchers that are in there yeah, have a mid 50s. I mean, he's literally the best player in terms of overall in the market according to our scout. So, doesn't seem too bad. Let's get rid of the old people though. Um, yeah, still doesn't look great. Tristan Peters has had a really good start to the year for the White Sox. I do know that. He's unfortunately not very good in the game. Um, Marco Luciano claimed from the Giants. We could trade for him back. It's crazy that he was like former top prospect now in waivers. It's not that crazy. He's aight. How old is he? 24 now. Yeah, I still think Foster Griffin makes the most sense. Looking at all the options there for Bader, you could go to just prospects, but you're not gonna see much. So not gonna see much here. There's just not really value. Like you're not gonna get any value here. You're really just looking at a bunch of players that probably will never play in the MLB. Maybe like a guy like Orelvis Martinez is the best option here. And he's 25, not developed enough. Really not a great list of players, I would say. So definitely keeping an eye on that Foster Griffin trade for now. I do want to look at, I think trading, I think we want to trade either one of Elliot Ramos and Luis Ariz is going to be the key. I think it's honestly, it makes more sense for us to trade Ariz. Hold on. See if I can fix this. Come on. There we go. That's better. That's better. Okay. I think it makes more sense for us to trade Ariz. I guess it's something that we can just wait on because it's really not contingent on anything. So we might want to work out the Robbie Ray stuff first. Might make more sense. Because if we do make this trade for Foster Griffin, like he's the odd man out. And he's not going to want to play in the pen. So fine with just, paying some of his contract and shipping him for into a team that, can provide him more of an option. And honestly, get Colin Holderman in return. Not a bad player. Provides a pen arm. Not paying him a whole lot. I don't mind that. Really don't need Lane Thomas. I don't think he has anything to the team. Just go with, how does Brady Singer so bad? Ooh. I think this makes sense. And just, yeah, have them take on as much of this contract as possible. I think this makes quite a bit of sense for us. Really just not any reason to hold on to him if we are making the move for Foster Griffin. So let's pull the trigger. Let's pull it. Do need a spot for Holderman on the roster. So I think we're going to send Dylan Smith down. It's either Smith or Trent Harris. Really just a 50-50 there. I think Harris might have options. I prefer it with Smith, honestly, because he can't pitch in the, there we go. He can actually go down. Bring Holderman on the roster, and he'll be a bullpen arm for us. Down the stretch. And let's get that Foster Griffin trade done as well. We can make more trades tomorrow. Or whatever, Get Foster Griffin. Just see them, make them take as much of his salary as possible. I don't know if it even matters, but feels good, I think it's a good trade for us. Making a swap, they get Harrison Bader next year. We get to start Drew Gilbert and Foster Griffin for next year, potentially as well. If we think it's the right option to keep him on the team option. So bring Foster Griffin on the roster. And how many pitchers do we have total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We are down one batter. Why is that? Because I traded the batter, probably. So yeah, it's just going to be Drew Gilbert starting in center field. I think that makes sense, right? Who's not starting versus lefties? Yeah. Yep. That makes sense to me, I think. You really don't have anybody else that can play in center field. So who do we want to bring up at this point? Where are we kind of shallow? So it's definitely still the infield. We definitely need to find, I guess Casey Schmidt is starting. Elliot Ramos is not starting currently. We do want another infielder on the roster. So maybe we do just bring up Furman currently. I mean, I'm definitely not against that. I think he's probably the best option. Also a lefty. So we're going to have to I really do think it's probably a rise that should be the one to go, but we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. I definitely do want, Furman getting some at bats. I want that. I would like that. Um, yeah. So I think we're chill from sitting there. Trying to think if there's anything else. I can do the minor league reorganization a little bit. Honestly, like I think it's best to just like do this and you kind of do it from here, I guess. Like this is the bottom level. So I'm not really concerned about like any of these guys had to go up or anything. Um, they can probably stay here. I'm just honestly, I'm more worried about guys like being too high, like being too high of a level for their batting. But I assume most of the time it does a pretty good job of that, keeping that from happening. Um, Rajas. I just also want to make sure like all the actual prospects are getting at bats. Um, obviously, quite a bit of 30 players in the scene, but not too bad actually. Um, just want to make sure that everybody's at least the big prospects are in a solid level for him. Mm, like I would probably, yeah, Alex fine. Zane struggling, doesn't really matter. Lucas Moore coming right up to double A is kind of crazy. I might start him in like A plus ball. Um, so I'll probably just do it with my big prospects. We will start Lucas Moore in A plus ball. We will. Where's the Camden Johnson's an A ball right now? He is 21 though, so that's fine. Honestly, I might start Lucas Moore in A ball as well. Just see how he handles it. Really not a super developed bat. Maybe he is. Yeah, he can handle A ball. He can handle A plus ball. He'll be fine there. Who else did we draft? Let's look real quick. History. Draft. Flora. Sides is in rookie ball. That's chill. Cooper Harris is in rookie ball. I do want Flora in double A. I think you can definitely handle double A. But I think that's where he's going to develop best. So that's where I will have him. That is where. And then they should have minor league lineups. The minor league managers should handle that. So as long as I have them at the right level, they should be chill. And we do have quite a lot of pitchers in double A and triple A. So maybe it's worth like, you don't need Zvac on the roster. Like you really don't need 33 players here, right? Don't need Roxby. Um, don't need Spencer Bivens. Get down to 30 real quick. And probably cut a few guys here too. Um, not really too old of prospects here, but get rid of Jose G. Gonzalez. Get rid of Evan Gray. And get rid of Samir. Just cleaning up the options a little bit so our players get enough opportunities in the minor leagues. 27's good, 30's fine, 31's fine, so that should be all right. I do want Florida to be in double A right now. I think that's where he's going to thrive the best. So should be good to sim at least a day here. Another win for us. Might actually be in that wild card spot. Not exactly sure. Um, is there so many ratings? Is there always so many ratings? I have it as something else. Maybe this is always just like, yeah, it always shows with the numbers. Um, Rye's actually kind of injured right now. I think he is going to be the one I try to trade. I'm okay keeping Elliot Ramos, though I'll shop both of them and see what the options look like. Um, I like Ryan Nelson. He's all right. Does not pitch well this year. Poor stuff. Meh. Really? Oh, Dylan Beavers. That's an option, man. I know he's 24, but like that's an option. There's like actual players here. Kind of surprised. Might need to be the Elliot Ramos trade. For a player that's like going into like starting his expensive ARB stage, cannot really play the outfield, I'm completely open to trading him. Very, very open to it. Brandon Sproat's okay. Pitched pretty well in the minors currently. I don't know. Kind of just got to consider all the options. Luis Matos is interesting. Our scouts has not been super great about looking at all these guys, but I mean, you look at this contact, and he's fairly developed. Maybe not quite ready for the MLB, and he is 24 and a half ish. So meh, meh. Can kind of play center field. Can play a corner outfield spot. There's certainly interesting players here. That's not really a question. I think it's just, is it worth trading him, and which interesting player do you trade him for? If so, I've talked about how I like Jack Leiter. How's that fastball run value so bad? It's not what his stats look like in real life or his Savant page. Not at all. His fastball is by far his best pitch. Um, yeah. I mean, you look at those corner outfielders that you see here. They definitely seem like the best options. They seem like the best options. You also see like Joey Cantillo, I'm pretty sure. Um, Profile honestly doesn't look particularly crazy to me. Not super interested. Um, True Romo. So I think it is like two best players here are pretty clearly Dylan Beavers and Matos. And I think like you see a really like potentially interesting player here. You're just a little bit like 55 grade power. You're thrown off a little bit by the scout not being super comfortable in him, but you're getting a 79th ranked prospect. Like I really don't mind this at all. Really don't mind this. Taking a little bit of a shot here. Can immediately come up and play quite a bit. Um, Lefty too. Let's look at Matos real quick. Certainly the better fielder. Pretty confident about his hitting potential. It's just that eye is so raw right now. Like really doesn't look like close to as ready of a player. And at 24 and a half, it's a little bit of a concern. It's like a significant concern. So I feel like that Dylan Beavers trade is going to be the one that I kind of lean to. I think it's a pretty good trade for us overall. Yeah, he's also pretty old. 46 overall versus and Matos is maybe higher. Where is he? 43. So he is quite a bit lower. This is probably going to be the trade I lean towards here. Is there anybody else that they're offering me that I'd probably be maybe interested in? Jeremiah Jackson's fine to play second base, I guess. That's really it. I wonder if we can get him in the trade as well. Jeremiah Jackson. Is he on that roster? I don't think so. Probably in AAA. Why do they have 40 players in their AAA roster? Jackson. It's pretty close to getting done. We could add Will Brennan and get it done right now. So that would be the Elliot Ramos trade. I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense. It makes sense a lot for the future. It makes sense for now. What if we trade Arise? Like you can also just get the same trade. Like why would we not just do this then? Get Dylan Beavers either way. Get Jeremiah Jackson either way. They want Arias, and we would rather keep Elliot Ramos. So that seems pretty clear to me, honestly. Could also get Jacob Marcy. He's an all right player from Allen Park. Obviously that eye is really good. He's going to get on base. It's really just the question of the contact, coming together again. But talented player can play center field too. Definitely intriguing. It's just the question of the contact tools. But they honestly look good. They honestly look good. Surprised Arise seems to have such a high trade value. Sheehan, a little bit of an interesting player, and he's fine. Not super interested, honestly. Not super interested in any of the starting pitching options that I see. Will Warren. Why are the Yankees trading him? I don't really understand. He's a really solid player. Not even eligible for ARB. Like, why would we not just do this? It's kind of just dominated. I mean, our scout likes him. That seems like an easy go ahead and do it move. We might just make all of these moves here. They don't make us that much worse, is the biggest thing. And I think we add a ton of value here. And obviously, like, I know that Warren is an older player, but it really doesn't matter. Lawrence Butler also all right. Obviously hasn't really hit this year, but this feels like an easy just trade for Will Warren decision. And I think I'll make the other trade with Elliot Ramos too. So yeah, why are the Yankees just selling? He's in AAA, so I literally like it's fine. I don't like it doesn't seem unrealistic or anything. Is there anything else that we can get? Any other cool players? Gonna give us some crazy prospect or something? What's the best prospect we can get? Not Spencer Jones. Not Dax Kilby. Definitely not Lombard. It's actually close. If you put in Schmidt, you would get him. But I'm not really super interested. Are kind of just being ticky-tacky now. Could get Hurd for Keelan. I think I'm okay with just taking the base trade, probably. Seems like it's a pretty close deal either way. Could get Henry Lane. He's a player. I suppose I'll take him. I've heard of him. And that's really all that matters. Let's do it. All right. Get that done. And I think immediately get the other trade done too. Let's do it. Let's complete it. It is done. And probably move both those guys on the roster. We got too many pitchers probably. So we got to figure out what to do with that. Realistically, like McDonald probably goes to the pen or to AAA, like either or. He's been fine for us, but advanced stats basically just say like he's not gonna be that good. And obviously the stuff doesn't really match up like you'd want it to. But maybe bring down Trent Harris because he has been, fine for you. He's been fine for you. Bring Will Warren in. He will immediately start, obviously. Yeah, this is going to be my starting rotation. Get Matt Gage in here. I like him. I like it. It is cool. Hentges is a setup guy. I think this is a pretty awesome way to retool after the trade deadline and still make a push. And we need hitting. So right now, what does our lineup look like? We're missing a Schmidt's gonna play second base. And that means we need a left fielder. I'm okay having Furman on the roster. We need a left fielder and probably like a backup outfielder. So, yeah, how to do that. And that is our left fielder, realistically, is Dylan Beavers. Going to immediately put him in the starting lineup. And I mean, you might want like bring a righty up that can kind of fill in for this in one of these roles, I think. Looking at what you don't have right now, you don't have a DH, which obviously there's some potentially interesting things you can do with that slot. And you need a left fielder here as well. So maybe that's Beavers. I honestly probably prefer to have him only start versus righties. I mean, he's just not close to as good versus lefties. And we do have two slots, right? No, we only have one. Can Jeremiah Jackson, he can play the outfield. Okay. That's interesting to me. Tis interesting to me. Can this guy? Yeah. So I think he definitely gets one of these starting spots. Question is, who gets the other? I think it's going to be Jesus. I think that makes the most sense. Put him at DH and put Jeremiah Jackson in left field. That makes sense to me. Have a little bit more lefty-righty splits here. I think I'm comfortable with the lineup. Got a little bit worse probably with these trade deadline acquisitions, but retooled for the future, and we're still in contention for that playoff spot. As we move forward, we can definitely consider offers that are coming towards us as well. I think we're probably done moving things. I'm not interested in Brenton Doyle. I love Brenton Doyle in real life. Has he been raking? Let me look real quick. Brenton Doyle. Nah, he's been bad. Kind of feels bad. I like Brenton Doyle. Um, Hold on a sec. I'm gonna BRB. All right, we back. We back. Okay. What was I doing? Looking at if Brenton Doyle was bad, and he was. He was not playing well. It kind of feels bad. Brenton Doyle was so fun in 2024, and just has not found the same hitting strength. And yeah, I'm sure we're just kind of ignoring that, to be honest. Anything interesting that's going on? Freddie Freeman told no more RV tailgating parties. Can't do it anymore, Freddie. Um, have we gotten any like awards or anything? That'd be kind of chill, you know? Be chill to get an award. What is a fresh drop for Out of the Park 27? I don't even know how you get that. You just get a bunch of packs. Like I'm chill. Perfect team, not my thing. Um Detmers, a lot of strikeouts. Anything else interesting? Curious. I do want to see that Scooble trade, like what happens with it. Rise wanted an extension. I traded him to the Yankees. That feels like something that would happen in real life. Um, Feels like he could definitely go to the Yankees. It's just a bunch of minor leaguers. Yeah, nothing super interesting, I think. Kind of wanted to look if there's any like no hitters or anything. Jose Suarez got injured on the treadmill. Looks like he's still recovering. Pittsburgh Pirates and Tigers have been in trading talks for like months. This is pre-draft. Webb was good for a month. I really haven't checked in on him. He's been very good for us though. Kind of just another Logan Webb year. Definitely did not want to consider trading him while we're making a push for the playoffs. I'm not super zeroed in on this year in general. Not super zeroed in. Yep, that's really it. Any interesting trades? Not that I can see. Lucas Erceg. He's bad? Why is he so bad now? Is he like a bad player? I remember him being like good. Yeah, he hasn't been good this year. I guess it's just like what relievers do. What relievers do, I suppose. Okay. That's fine. We'll deal with that. Doesn't need to go in IL. Some retirees. A lot of teams. Oh, make Casey Mize gets traded for Arian Rodriguez. That's a bad trade for the Tigers. I don't really know why they did that. Um, that's one thing that Out of the Park always does is overvalues these 24-year-old pitchers that will never develop. I wish it didn't do that. I don't need Drew Pomeranz. I will ignore that trade. Ignore it. Uh, there's the extension. Whoa. Whoa. That's crazy. That's all I'll say. That's crazy. There's no chance I was paying him anywhere close to that much money. Nowhere in the general range near that, I suppose. What happened to my guy, Jonah Cox? He's injured. Feels bad. This is basically every single player that's been on the team at some point, I think. How's Olivia been in AAA? Not crazy. Not crazy. Okay, let's win. Let's win games. Let's win series. Let's make the. How are we like here? You know, like why are we gonna make the playoffs? I just we were so bad. You know. I also don't need Steven Kolek. He's fine. What contract is he on? Is he on like a rookie contract? He is. That's kind of crazy. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on that stuff. 35 stuff. Can deal, but I thought this was Zach Wheeler. But I think is his name spelled differently? Ryan Verdugo? Okay. I'm really just waiting on that. I haven't seen a cool Tarek Scooble trade yet, so curious what that will look like. Jeffers. Jeffers. Who's Harris? Hogan Harris. I guess we can take another look at the trade deadline. The trading block. Really nothing super interesting. I think Eovaldi's new. Really it. And I don't see anything new on this side. Nothing in particular. Matt Chapman out with an injury. That's fairly significant, I would say. That basically means that Furman's getting his time. Could obviously move Jeremiah Jackson in that role. I think it means I don't want to start Furman versus lefties. He's actually fine versus lefties. I might start him versus lefties. He's slightly better versus righties. We do need a direct replacement, though. So maybe it's Buddy Kennedy, honestly. I think it is kind of just the best hitter option. Kavanaugh hasn't been bad, but already on the 40-man roster as well. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure these were looking good. How's our rookies doing? Flora, it's not been great, but not too worried about it. They'll be fine, I'm sure. I made this move. Jeremiah Jackson starting in left field. So we do need a third baseman versus lefties. Is that Buddy Kennedy? It might be. It might be that. Obviously, you could start Rafi. I really don't want it to be. You can start Jeremiah Jackson at third and start somebody else in left. Which is who? Who would that be? I don't know. It would be Jesus, I suppose. Who's already in the... Okay, here's what we're going to do. Jesus, left field. Jeremiah Jackson, third base. This is getting a little goofy here. And you start Kennedy as the DH. It's a little goofy. I think it makes sense, though. You see how I like the lefty-righty splits. Still B versus my bad. It's fine. He's going to be perfectly good and awesome, and he's going to dominate. I get it. All you got to do is believe. I don't need Jake McCarthy. I really do not need him. Jeffers does get traded for Santiago Suarez, who's fine. Baumeister. It's really Suarez is the big piece. He's all right. For a rental, it's not too bad. He's only 22. Really just waiting on that Scooble deal. It'll probably be Rise already dominating after I trade him. Waiting on the Scooble deal. Josh Lowe, do not need him. Michael Peterson, do not need him. Tigers, Scooble, still not traded. As far as I can tell. Peguero coming off the IL. What was his injury? Left hamstring strain. He's kind of bad, so I'll just put him on a rehab assignment and then not bring him up. I forgot that Tyler Mahle was on the team. Well, he won't be next year, so it doesn't really matter. Birdsong is theoretically a good pitcher. He's gone until like beginning of next year after that. So now Randy Rodriguez had a really good year in 2025. What was it yelling at me about? The rehab. Let's look at trade deadline day. Has Scooble been traded yet? That's the question that everyone looks to question answer. Don't want Jorge Soler. Don't really want any of these trades. Can I delete my messages, or do they just stay? They can stay, I guess. I feel like I'd have to delete them one by one. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Tarek's still on the block. We don't have enough money to get him, I think. And also, like, obviously, we cannot get him. I'm pretty confident we're done with the day, though. Take a look at all the potential options. Really, we're just not in the mode to make a true run. How are we winning games? I don't really know. Like, realistically, like, yeah, we're winning games, but the team is not that good. So we're not going to win the World Series. Probably. I've seen more magical things happen before. Honestly, it's magical that we're 60 and 50 because at one point in the season we were like 30 and 50. Um, and the Giants are bad right now in real life. I don't know how that happened. And we traded a bunch of guys, and then suddenly and we're still winning. So doesn't make. I don't know how it happened. I'm gonna trust in Dylan Beavers. I don't think there's any reason to not. So I will see. I want to give us Spencer Steer. It's kind of fun. That's odd. No, this is just a. I don't like. I don't. It seems like out of the park in this version creates random trades for you. I was like, this is a great trade for us. Obviously, not a real trade for us. So, um, I don't really want Noah Cameron, but also like, why are they trying to trade me Noah Cameron? He's okay. He's not terrible. He's actually borderline good. Like, I'm really trying to figure out why I wouldn't. I guess like Kayama's okay. He's having a good year in single A, so that's why I wouldn't make the trade. But I won't. It's just like a dumb trade. I don't need Austin Hayes. I don't need Jake McCarthy. I think I am chilling. Has Scooble been traded? I don't even know who Kyler Fedko is. He's not. Is he going to be traded? Doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like there's a team that has the juice, according to Out of the Park. What's this trade that I've been offered? I do not see a trade. Maybe it's a different trade for Kyler Fedko. The CPU teams really didn't make that many trades in these sessions. And look at the Tigers, just keeping a bunch of old players, I guess. I guess looking at that, that's one improvement that I think it would be great if they added to Out of the Park is a cooler trade deadline where CPU teams could make interesting trades. Oh, they wanted to send me Connor Phillips. Yeah, I'm good. I am good. Maybe just Sim. I don't think there's anything really I'm even considering changing. I think we're pretty comfortable with the way the team's at, what the lineups are looking like. Did lose a game, but you do that every once in a while. Do that every once in a while. Camden Johnson still looks okay. Yeah, I mean these guys are just like fine. Um, no awards, but we're doing things. We're winning games. See if we don't make the playoffs now, leading the wild card, then it'll be like, what happened? Um, I will put Malay on a rehab assignment. Really got to figure out what we're doing with him. I assume Wizenhunt probably just goes to the pen for a little bit. It is the realistic option. Eldridge struggling a little bit. Really don't mind. I like what I'm seeing. Guys getting the opportunity. Opportunity to succeed. I'm trying to think if there's. I kind of want to check in on the rookies too. How Flora's doing. Really don't think I'll consider moving him to AAA at the end of the season. Drew Gilbert has a tired arm. Casey Schmidt has an injury. This is fun. Who's our backup center fielder? Don't really have one, so I might actually put him on the IL. Let him get healthy. I know it's only a week, but we just don't have a center fielder, which is a little bit of an issue. So I guess Grant McCray, or it's Olivia, but honestly, it's probably Grant McCray, who's actually okay. Like, surprisingly okay. And he will start versus both sides, because he's our only center fielder. Hopefully Casey Schmidt is not actually injured. So that would be kind of sad. Where is Flores injured? Nah, he's taking a break. He's taking a break. CRA is not good. That's all right though. But bad ERA doesn't mean you're pitching bad. It might just mean you have some bad luck, you know? Now the wild card race is actually scary. Like, how did that happen? We were all at like 505. Now I'm like, oh, we gotta keep Grant McCray on the team. He's mashing. Not really any reason to though. How Drew Gilbert's been playing, and Dylan Beaver's playing solidly, good enough. Piguero, I don't think is going to be on the team. Male, been getting his innings. I think we should probably bring him up, and he'll pitch for us. Move him back into center field. Gilbert's been solid. I mean, 1.4 WAR from a guy that's rated 45 overall. Cannot be mad about that at all. Cannot. I refuse for you to be mad about it. Who do we want to demote? Who do we not need? Honestly, like, it's Trevor McDonald. Really just no reason for him to be on this roster right now. And he could be starting in AAA. And I guess it's like this. Wizenhunt is our worst starter right now. Maybe he's better than Male, though. You might want to just, like, I mean, yeah. Might want to just, like, rep Male out of the pen. He's going to be gone next year anyway. It's just kind of be that emergency starting pitcher kind of guy. Which relief pitchers have been good? Eric Miller's been really good. Wynn, obviously. Foley's been solid. Gregory Santos has been solid. Honestly, I'd want to keep those guys. Seems like a little bit weird too, but I would like to keep them. Our big, I think they're I like those guys with like the massive movement skills. Was the loudest achievement I've ever heard. I will have to take a break in a little bit. And Foster Griffin has been suspended. I'll probably try to get to the end. Well, I'll probably take a break now. I'll be back in a little bit. I like having this here though. Kind of just like jam. I don't know. It's chill. I'll be right back though.